Welcome to the Code with Jason meetup. This is like the second meetup of what is going to be a lot of them where we're going to do a certain topic, which is this CI platform I'm building, continuous integration. Um, I am not a fan of like Circle CI or GitHub Actions, and I've tried to set up a couple other tools and I just gave up because it was like too hard. Um, and so I'm going to build one that is going to be, I believe, better. So I'll share my screen and I'll catch us up on where we are and all that stuff. What I was doing last time was I was getting a setup. I was okay. Quick backstory. I worked on this project for like a month this last summer, and then I was like, this is taking up too much time and too much money, and this is just irresponsible, which it totally was, and maybe still is, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But I shut down the project. I took down the hosting. It was on AWS. I shut that down so I didn't have to pay for it anymore. Now I'm putting it back up, but this time I'm putting it on DigitalOcean, which I think can be more economical. And so we were in the process of getting that going. Um, so I'm gonna log into my DigitalOcean account. Um, oh, and apparently I don't have a login. Apparently I remember now I did it with GitHub. Okay, great. So we're in here, and apparently my project is called First Project. Okay. And I'm hosting it using Kubernetes. Um, and I don't know what the status is. So I'm going to try to figure that out. So last time, I'm going to make my font a little bit bigger. Last time, okay, so let's see. Doc.ctl. Hmm. kubectl. kubectl get nodes. Does that do anything? I'm just trying to get oriented and figure out what stage am I at with this deployment. Okay, I'm a little lost. I also don't really remember how Kubernetes works. Kubectl gets services. Okay. There's like not really anything. Okay, so let's figure out what to do next. My experience so far is that the documentation for DigitalOcean is pretty good. So let's look to that for a guide. This is a case where the documentation is better than ChatGPT. So I'm going to keep doing this instead of ChatGPT. I'm just going to go from number one here. Okay, I'm going to go to here because I think I might have done this already. I think I might have created a cluster because I think I saw a cluster here. Okay.
You went through all the steps in the quick start guide on Sunday. So I think you registered the container because you were able to deploy, right? You had to register the container on a public repository to deploy to
Yes.
Kubernetes. And I think we ended just at the point where you were able to hit the button on the app. And then we ran out of time.
Okay.
But I don't
I
know
find it
if that
funny how
button
you
was
remember
doing
what I did
anything.
better than I do.
Well, I'm watching, so I have the advantage.
Yeah. Um, okay. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure where that leaves us. Okay, get an authentication token or certificate. Okay, I don't know what this is about. How to connect to a DigitalOcean Kubernetes cluster. I don't even know why I would want to connect to my cluster.
Yeah, if you go to the quick start guide, that's where we were last time.
Oh, okay.
Um, well, where in here? I don't remember. You ran a
Must have
bunch
done
of
this.
Yeah, you were able to run a bunch of commands to like list the container, list the nodes. Kubernetes is sort of beyond my comprehension at this point, so I don't know why we're doing that. But
And I might have done this. Build and deploy your first image to your first cluster. I might have
yeah,
at least started this.
yeah, because you said you had a script. You ran
Mhm.
a script that you had saved from before.
Oh yeah.
If
Let's
that
run that
jogs a
again.
memory.
Okay. I'm gonna try this. Okay, yeah, so it's coming back to me now. Maybe I should watch my last video each time I do one of these. Um, okay, I'm gonna look at this script here. Okay, so it's saying no such file or directory of what? On line 14, first of all. Okay. Well, what if I do this? What if I just run this auth? Oh, okay. Ops auth. Okay, no such file or directory. Let's see what it is. Oh yeah, because auth um is a this does AWS stuff. So since this is no good, I'm just going to delete this entirely. Then I'm going to go to my deploy script and I'm going to remove this line that tries to authenticate. Okay, then I'm going to try to run this deploy script again. Okay, no such image, not terribly surprising. Because again, I'm trying to use my AWS script on DigitalOcean, which is like not going to work. I'm going to have to make some adjustments. Okay, 16 says apply no such file or directory, but there was an error before that. No such image, staging, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's just walk through this. So we establish an app version, the environment, which is staging because I passed it to it. We have this tag and it says, sorry, I'm gonna split this so we can do this a little more easily. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to run it again. Staging. Okay. Okay. Um, no such image. Docker build. Okay. So first of all, does this Docker build step work? Let me try that on its own. Oh, and there's no tag. All right, for the tag, I'm just gonna put like test one. Seems to be working. Okay. Okay, and then oh, this is clearly my AWS repository URL. So we got to replace this with my DigitalOcean repository URL. Okay. How do I get my DigitalOcean repository URL? Or maybe I want to say registry URL. Maybe that's the term. Okay. So I think this is it. So maybe I want to say Docker tag, blah, 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 tag. Okay. And this seems to be pretty much just a duplication of that. Docker push. Okay, so let's try this and see what happens. But I guess I want to wait for my build to finish first. Or maybe I don't. I'll just kill it. Okay, ops deploy. Oops. I have to include the environment I want, staging. Okay. Um, failed to solve with front end, blah, blah, blah. So it's hard for me to tell where things are going wrong. So I'm going to comment out everything but this Docker build or everything after the Docker build because I want to see if it's at least working until there and it's not. Okay. So just to be absolutely sure, if I comment out the build, nothing goes wrong. Okay. Okay. And that, by the way, is my tag, staging dash that number. Okay. So the message is failed to solve with front-end Docker file, blah, blah, blah. Failed to read Docker file. Okay, Docker file.production, no such file or directory. But I do have Docker file.production. Okay. Instead of doing cd dot dot, which I don't know why I would be doing, I'm going to do dot dot slash Docker file.production and dot dot slash dot. See what happens when I do that. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, I still don't understand. Hmm. Okay, so where am I? I'm gonna do echo pwd. Okay, so I'm only in Saturn. I'm not in ops. Okay, that makes sense then, actually. Okay. And I'm gonna take this command and I'm gonna do echo this command. Interesting. So it's I must have changed something, but like it feels like it just works even though I didn't change anything. Okay, well, it worked twice in a row. Okay. Well, it worked three times in a row. Yeah, okay. So if I kill these couple lines, does it still work? Yeah. Okay, and if I kill this echo line, does it still work? Yeah. Okay, I do not know what's different. And why do I have this CD hyphen? That just goes to the most recent directory, which does not make any sense to me. And this apply script is somebody's chatting to me. You remove the dot dot from the dash F Docker file. I know, but that's how it came originally. See, the only difference is I deleted this auth file. Oh, I guess I didn't want to actually get rid of that. Oh, I did get rid of the cd dot dot, and I don't know why. Okay, well, I don't know why I ever did do the cd dot dot because I'm like already there. Well, I don't think the reason, no, this isn't, Steve, this isn't a Docker file. This is just a bash script. Oh, yeah, yeah. You realize that. So because I'm not doing cd dot dot, I don't need to do cd hyphen because that would have just taken me back to the original. So it no longer makes sense to do. Okay, now I'm going to try running this again and we will see what happens. Obviously, this build will take a little while. What can we do to entertain ourselves in the meantime? I will show you my to-do list. What could be more entertaining? Um, so this is from June 29th, apparently. This is what my to-do list looked like. Get sign out link to redirect to sign in page, get sign in links to work, move spot instance request to background job, Create separate post-installation callback endpoints. See if authorization and installation can be made into one step. All fairly low-level stuff. I don't know if I'm going to worry about retaining the same list. I might just start fresh. And if I end up traversing the same path wastefully multiple times, that's a price I'm willing to pay. Rather than trying to like go back and figure out what's what and all that. All right, so my build is still building. I guess what we can do now is I can show you guys the UI if you haven't seen it yet. It's very austere. I'm going to do sign in with GitHub. And I think because I have previously authenticated, it just logged me right in. My GitHub account is already connected. So now I'm going to go to my project. I'm dog fooding SaturnCI and I'm using it on itself to run its own tests. While we're waiting, does anybody have any questions or comments about the product?
You had said that you're building this because you didn't like the other solutions. Can you talk maybe a little bit more about the different solutions you tried and what you didn't like about them?
Yeah, it's mainly CircleCI and GitHub Actions. Um, Mainly it's the UI. One thing that really frustrates me, maybe more than it should, is the amount of scrolling that's necessary in both those products. Um, it like doesn't divine the individual test failures from the logs. And so there's a lot of
Mm.
like scrolling through the logs that's necessary. And then there's even like scrolling that is absolutely not necessary. Like it's just poor design choices. Like in order to get to a top nav, for example, you need to scroll up in throughout your entire logs just to get the page to move up so you can get to the nav. It's like
They have
just make
that
the
same
nav
problem
sticky.
with the PR requests. If you have
Yeah.
a that always drove me crazy. Oh,
Yeah.
have you thought about, is there a way to just get the logs back from GitHub Actions and have a tool for parsing the logs? I'm just sort of playing devil's advocate instead of rebuilding the entire CI. Like maybe there's a tool just to give better output.
Oh no, that's just one of many pains.
Mm.
With GitHub Actions in particular, one thing that really bugs me is it has it doesn't separate the concept of a test suite run from the concept of a commit. And so if you have a commit that triggered, I'm going to call it a build instead of a test suite run. If you have a commit that triggered a build and then you rerun that build, instead of having two lines, one for each build, you just have one single line for that commit, and you have to like dig further in order to get your two separate builds.
Mm.
I find it much more logical. Well, here's what I find more logical. You should be able to expand and collapse it. Like there should be one view where each line is a commit, and you should have another view where each line is a build. And to me, it seems pretty obvious that people would want that. Okay, so my build failed. And when we get to apply, it says no such file or directory. And I don't know if it's saying that there's no file called apply or if inside apply we're encountering an error. Ooh, yeah, it's saying there's no file called apply. Yeah, so I think I have to do that. Okay, environment tag. Okay, so I am going to manually run that line. So I'm going to say ops apply staging, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now it says run no such file or directory. Okay, so all this apparently has to be done like I remember how I used to do this. Okay. Okay, so I am gonna okay. Okay, sorry, bear with me a second. The memories are coming back. Okay, cd dot dot cd dot dot cd dash. Okay, so I'm in ops. I have to temporarily go up and then come back. That's what the cd dot dot and the cd dash are about. So I'm going to cd into ops. And then instead of running this like this, I'm going to run it like that. All right, now let's see what happens. Okay, pulling AWS CLI, it didn't work, which makes sense because we're not doing AWS stuff anymore. Okay. Okay, so I just want to do kubectl like that, I think. Kubectl, oh, yeah, I don't want to do it like that. I want to do it like that. Okay, it's not immediately, oh, okay. Namespace is staging not found. Okay. Okay, well, I think we might be getting closer. Okay, let's do kubectl get namespaces. Okay, we have default blah blah blah. Default. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do a deployment for the default namespace, I think. Hmm. Okay. What what namespace does DigitalOcean put its stuff into? Kubernetes. Does it say anything about this cluster and what namespace it's in and all that? Oh, a cluster is not in a namespace. A cluster has namespaces. Okay. I think I want to do git clusters and see what I got going on. Oh, okay. So I need to see how to list my clusters. Hmm. Okay, but before I do that, I'm going to look at my deployment config file. Okay. Um, do I have anything about? Oh, I know where my cluster stuff is. Okay. It's in a config file, I think. Okay. So where am I? Okay, I want to be in ops. Okay, config. Hmm. I don't see any config in here. This says nothing about clusters. I should have like a kubectl file. Kubectl. Okay, I don't think I do. That's fine. I think I need to download the config. Yes. Okay. What is this? Whoa, I didn't even see the, whoa, what's going on? Whoa, okay. Okay, yes. Yes. I need to put this somewhere. Okay, but I don't want to open this with cursor. I don't use cursor anymore. Okay. I got to figure out where this went. Okay. Okay, so I want to do move downloads, blah, 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 to here. Okay. Yes. Okay, so this is my kube config. I need to know where to put it. Where do I put this kube config file? Okay. By default, Kubernetes looks for kube config file at kube config. Okay. Oh, home. Interesting. Okay. Ensure that this file is stored securely as it contains sensitive information. I'm glad I just showed it to the world then. Okay. I'm going to see. Hmm. I'm going to see if I have this file. Okay, apparently it does exist. Interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to do this though. I know there's nothing in my kube config that could possibly be useful, so I'm going to move this to .kube config. There. Okay. Now I'm going to do get services and see what happens. Okay, I don't know what to make of that. Namespaces. Let's see what we get for this. Okay, same stuff as before. It says it's 4 days old. That would have been um 4 days ago. Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday. Was I doing stuff with this on Sunday? I was, wasn't I? Because you were
Yeah,
there.
that was when we had the last one.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve.
Okay, we're piecing together the clues. Okay. Okay, so this seems like it was created by DigitalOcean. Okay, so let's try this. Let's do create namespace staging. Okay. And now I am going to run my deploy script for staging, but I'll do it the right way this time instead of the wrong way. And we'll see what happens now. I wonder if any of this build is going to be faster. Hopefully it has cached some stuff.
Like it cached most of it, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks like the bundle install step didn't take any time. Oh yeah, cached. Okay.
You're bundling assets. That's good. Further than we were before, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, now we have to entertain ourselves for an additional period. It's almost done though. Just has to upload some stuff. Okay, so we were talking about the weaknesses of the competition. That's always a fun topic. Oh, okay. All right, so I have to interrupt myself. Error parsing HTTP 400 response body, but then also after that it said blah 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 Saturn created. So let's see what's going on. Nothing new in services, deployments, nothing found there. When we do namespaces, we should see staging there, which we do.
Try running, can you pass the environment to the get deployments? Because it said nothing found in default namespace, but you just
Oh,
tried to deploy to staging.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what the
Um,
syntax is, but
I forget myself. Might be this. Oh,
there you
hey.
go.
Okay.
61 seconds.
Okay. Okay. Let's do get nodes. Okay. So you can do like describe deployment or something like that. I don't remember. Is there any way I can get more info about this deployment? Okay. Oh yeah, pods. Man, I haven't worked with Kubernetes in well over a year, other than the little bit that I did when I set this project up on AWS like 6 months ago. So this is taking a long time for some reason. Okay. Well, it's there, but it's not ready. Um, and I'm gonna again do get services. Okay. I'm just gonna go into the staging namespace and stay there. Actually, I don't want to do that. I remember from before that that is dangerous. I will go in, I'll set a default namespace or I'll like stay in one namespace. Then I'll forget I'm there and I'll do things on production that I meant to do on staging or vice versa. And that's not good. So I'm not going to do that. All right, I'm going to do this get events thing. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, failed to pull image, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. I remember seeing this um in my deployment file. Yeah, see on line 17 here, it has the wrong image. It has the old AWS image. So I want to replace that with my DigitalOcean URL. Okay. And now I will try this again. Um, I don't have to rebuild. I don't remember how to do it. So I'm just going to do this. Deploy staging. And I wonder if that's the error we saw last time because that registry URL was wrong last time. It was still pointed at AWS. Um, so back to the weaknesses of the competition. Um, both CircleCI and GitHub Actions, not to be mean, but they just feel like amateurish. The UIs don't have that like professional polish that one would want. And that's another thing I'm aspiring to achieve with this product is have it just feel more professional. Okay, so we still get this 400 error, and I don't know what that means, but we'll leave that aside for the moment. I'm going to do git deployments. Okay, I'm going to do git events because that was useful last time. Okay. So it says, here, I'm going to go up. Okay. This top one is successfully assigned blah, blah, blah to pool, whatever. I don't know what that's all about. Now it says pulling image, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. So that seems to match up with that 400 message we got from before. I'm going to tell this to ChatGPT. So there was like that docCTL, not docCTL, docTL, auth init. And maybe we need to do that in the deploy script. Where was it taking place before? Right before the Docker push. Okay. So I'm going to do docCTL auth init. Okay. Deploy staging. So we'll see if this time whether we get that same 400 message or not. And I'm just curious what ChatGPT is saying. It does say to verify that the image exists in the registry. That's a good idea. I'm gonna look. Well, I don't know how it could exist in the registry if we've never successfully authenticated before we push. So that probably doesn't even make sense to check. Okay, yeah, and we still get this error. All right, so I'm gonna try something else. Okay, Docker image ls. So here's all of our images. I can see these various ones that I built. I'm gonna grab the tag for the one for this one I just built. And I'm gonna do, what does this do? Docker. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Tag equals that. Okay. I'm gonna run this command manually. Okay, it didn't give me any output. Now I'm gonna do this Docker push. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to do the init, sorry, I'm going to do the auth immediately before the push. And I can't tell what's happening. It seems to be frozen. It's taking longer than it took before.
It is going through, like if you look at the top, it's the statuses were updating a second ago.
But it says retrying.
Yeah, that I can't explain, but something still working on something.
Okay, we get the same error. Okay, so I'm gonna tell this to ChatGPT. Corresponds to a valid image tag. Yeah. Okay, a valid image tag where? On my local machine? Hmm. What? Okay. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Oh, break down this command for me. SaturnCI is the name of the repository within the DigitalOcean container registry. Let's make sure repositories. Okay, I'm going to look at this. Maybe I haven't done the necessary steps yet. I don't think I have. Okay. All right, I'm going to call this registry SaturnCI, but I don't know how to figure out the region. I'm going to look at my cluster. It's in one of the NYC regions, but I don't know the exact name of it. Region. Okay.
Looks like it's listed right there at the top, I think.
Oh, yeah. NYC1. Okay. Region NYC1. Name already exists. Okay, so apparently that does not need to be done. And I don't think if I've done this, I forget. Okay. Okay, so my registry, Saturn CI, and I don't know if this is just a convention or if it actually matters, but there's a slash here instead of a hyphen. Um, okay. Um, okay, sorry, bear with me here. Docker ls grep Saturn. Whoops, Docker image ls grep Saturn. Staging, blah, blah, blah. All right, so I'm going to grab this again. I'm going to grab this one. Okay, my image, I think I want to do this. Okay. And then Docker push my registry, my image. All right, so that matches this. We'll see. Ah, it's actually doing something now.
There we go.
Okay, so now we will want to update the script to match. And I think actually the only thing that was missing was this. And let's actually, well, okay, let's do this. Yeah, so it's like the one and only thing that's different is the slash instead of the colon, but I doubt that that's significant. And then here, same exact thing. So we'll keep that for a second, and then I'll try this in a second and see if it, actually, what's the point? Let's just do it the way DigitalOcean wants. Do you need to registry login prior to Docker tag? I don't know, but might as well do it because why not? And then these can be in a nice little group there. Almost done, I think. Just to fill this space, I'll tell you guys a little joke. Um, why didn't the skeleton go skydiving? He didn't have the guts. um, all right, so we're getting close here. Um, oh hey, here's another skeleton one. A skeleton walks into a bar. The bartender says, "What'll you have?" And the skeleton says, "I'll take a beer and a mop." When does a joke become a dad joke? I don't know. I am a dad. When it becomes a parent. Oh, that itself was a joke. Wonderful. All right, I keep thinking it's almost done. The suspense is killing me.
What is it actually doing here?
I don't actually know. Well, I mean,
Uh,
like big picture, what's it doing?
Or like, what is it pushing? Like, what are all these? I mean, I'm guessing those are some sort of reference tag, but do you have any idea what it's actually pushing it at this stage?
That's an excellent question, and it never even occurred to me to wonder for some reason. Let's fill the time by asking ChatGPT.
Because it seems to me you only have one image, so I don't understand what it's pushing up.
This is only one image, so what are all the individual things it's pushing? Pushing various layers
Hmm.
of a single Docker image, okay? Okay. Well, and this is
Answers
like,
that.
yeah, it's frustrating that it's like stuck at the end here. I'm not even going to wait for it. I'm just going to run my script again. Okay, so it's doing the build. That takes a second, as we know. And here in the container registry, okay, I'm going to read what else it has to say here. Use your images with Kubernetes. Okay. Hmm. All right, I'm going to refresh this and see if it shows us anything. Yeah, it didn't. Not super surprising because that image never successfully finished uploading. Okay, now it's at this step once again. Okay, so let's suppose that this all succeeds. Use images in your registry with Kubernetes to create containers, blah, blah, blah. Visit the registry page. I'm going to go there. Oh, we've already been there. And it said click the settings tab. Okay. Click edit to display the available Kubernetes clusters. Here, I guess. Hmm. I think we might have already done this. Okay. Well, it's nice that it says layer already exists. Apparently, I don't have to wait for all that. Oh, and that second to last one, I don't think it started pushing that before, so that's nice to see. I think it takes longer if you do it during a Zoom call because The call is taking up bandwidth, but it seems to be going a little better this time for whatever reason. Okay. I'm just going to close some of these extra tabs because they distract me. What do you get when you cross an elephant with a rhinoceros? Hell if I know.
What do you call a dog wrapped in bread? Sorry. Oh, fail.
Oh
What do you call a
no.
dog wrapped in dough?
What do you call a dog wrapped in dough?
Inbred.
Ha! Okay. It says 124.1 megabytes of 124.1 megabytes, but for some reason, that's still not good enough. Okay.
And it
Hmm.
looks like you got one other that's still waiting. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
that
do see
means.
that. While we're waiting for this, let's take a quick tour of my database schema. Um, how many things? We don't have that many tables, so we can look at them individually. So we have builds. I think I'm calling each one of these rows a build. And we have build logs and build events. Not 100% sure what those are. We have projects. We have Saturn installations and we have users. That's apparently all so far. So now you're acquainted with my database schema. Still pushing. Um, just for fun, let's run the test suite and see if it works. Okay, it does. That was fun. We're still waiting. Take a tour of my model files. So what happens to trigger a build? Let's try to answer that question. When I do a git push, how does my project know about that? Because it works right now. Like when I do a push, a new thing shows up. Um, so how is that working? I don't know. Oh yeah, I thought I was looking at controllers, but I was looking at models. Okay. So I have GitHub installations controller, blah blah blah. I also have API. Okay. So this is interesting. What does API controller look like? Okay, not a lot. We just have this HTTP basic authentication. I'm going to check on my push again. Still not done. Okay, I'm going to look at GitHub events. Okay, when an event is created, handle installation event, that's a terrible name. GitHub installation ID. By the way, I think a lot of this is straight from ChatGPT. GitHub account ID. We get the user, and then we create a Saturn installation if there's not one already. So this code has some room for improvement. Man, this is terrible. I don't know what to do about this. I guess I'll just kill it and try again. It says Saturn configured. I don't believe that. Okay, I'm gonna try it again, just like kind of manually. Okay, I'm gonna grab this tag. And then I'm gonna run docker push with this tag. And since most of these layers already exist, we shouldn't have to wait for those. But I might have to wait and do this part offline because it's just taking forever. I'm actually going to check my Wi-Fi settings to make sure I'm connected yeah, I'm connected to the right network. Okay. Well, we've done about an hour. So I think this is where we're going to leave off today. That's fairly unsatisfying, but I'm going to end our call for tonight, and I'm going to try this manually, and hopefully that works. And if not, I don't know what we're going to do. But if it does work, then we'll pick up next time from here. I'll watch the last 5 or 10 minutes of my video before I do the next video so I don't forget what I did like I forgot this time. And thanks everybody for coming, and I will see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care, everyone.